We moved to East London at the end of 2019 in December, and then the farm was a subdivision off another farm, so there was nothing on it. And we took about 9 months to be building all the buildings. This is our second year of actually living on the property. I'm trained as a physiotherapist, so we homeschool the kids, and then I do physio work 2 days a week. I do home visits, and then I farm early morning, afternoon, and then whenever there's a crisis in between. It was very exhausting in the beginning because we were learning so much on the farm. So every new event was something else that you had to get to learn about. Sometimes I say that I milk so that kids can see what hard work looks like in reality. But there's so much to learn on the farm. We find a frog with a yellow stripe on it yesterday. You find out what kind of frog it is, or there's something dead and you can open it up. It's very real. It's like nature studies every day. For the young kids, when the whole point is to be active and to run around, and it's much more fun to run around and be active here, and they can get that done legitimately doing something that's maybe useful. Schooling, when you're around, like they're watching me and Roger working all the time, and Finny, and then they're in the carpentry and they go and do an hour with Finny doing some cosy, and Finny makes them cut down some tree and he instructs them in cosy, and then they have to learn that. So we're very spoiled. The most important thing is to do what you can with where you are, because you can actually homestead from a rented backyard. You can learn some skills, you can learn some processes, and then once you're confident with a little, you can replicate that on something bigger, and you have the experience, you've made the mistakes. So I think start where you are and grow from there.
I feed the rabbits and look after them. Feed them at 6 o'clock every morning, and then 4:30 in the evenings. Sometimes they take turns and I put them down on the ground, and usually if we have forgotten to shut the door, then they run out. Yes, they do. I really enjoy looking after them. This chicken we got from another place, and it's been bullied, so I was feeding it. Now it's tamed and it can go on my head.
This is the railway system. The chickens lay eggs here, and then these are the eggs.
I really don't have too much experience in farming. Starting a homestead wasn't necessarily an intentional thing. It was more of just a natural outworking of our passions and desires, and it just sort of ended up as this. So yeah, it's been a sharp learning curve. We're completely off-grid, so we don't rely on any of the municipal services. So we have solar, we got 15 330-watt panels, and we have rainwater, and then composting toilets, and then all our grey water is managed through soak pits and banana circles and that. And we only typically use around 30–40% of it. So we're able to run the 6–7 fridge freezers, the power tools in the workshop, the washing machine and the guest house and everything. So we run a carpentry workshop here as well. Custom-made, handcrafted products, predominantly from reclaimed material. So benches and bookshelves and that sort of thing. We started a holistic homestead management and discipleship program, which is a 9-month live-in internship program. Gabo and Batan were our first interns, so we are really excited about the new venture that we're embarking on. We're learning as much as they are. We raise free-range pasture-reared pork. This is Princess. She's a Duroc, which is one of the 3 major breeds of pig that people farm commercially in South Africa. So we grow the rabbits out once they're weaned. We grow them out on the tractors. And then so they're on a spot for about 2 days, and then we move them across. One of the sort of concepts that's inspired by permaculture is just the use of space and proximity. So having the weeds right here and the rabbits right here, and then they urinate, and then they drop their manure right in the beds. It's a cold manure, so we can plant straight into it. Yeah, this is our market garden. Try to have quite a diverse range of crops, and we try to intercrop as much as possible. Yeah, so we're able to provide for most of our diet. I think recently we bought broccoli and mushrooms, but otherwise I think we went for several weeks without buying any fresh veg. We still need to buy a bit of fruit. For me, the favourite thing is the sound of water running into the rain tank. It sounds small, but for me it's just, yeah, it's very reassuring. This here is we're calling our kitchen garden. So we've got, once again, we've got the bark chips in the pathways, which helps mainly for the weed suppression, and then also for the drainage, and then also it helps for the aesthetic. It makes it a nice environment to work in. Highlights are just, yeah, life. I mean, things getting born, seeds sprouting, but then on the flip side, everything that lives needs to die as well. So there's a saying that where there's livestock, there's dead stock, which is, yeah, it's a reality. But it's good for the kids as well. They get to see the whole cycle of life, and they're so connected with their food system and the realities of life, which I think is so missing in society today. We're very grateful for this environment to be able to bring up our kids. Character building opportunities that they're able to experience. So with Tessa looking after the rabbits and just seeing consequences for actions. Big benefits about living on a small holding on a farm and a homestead is the kids and the way that they interact and they learn, and especially integrating that with homeschooling. And yeah, it's one of the sort of highlights is seeing the kids own the vision when they're proactive in terms of assisting with the running of the farm itself. It's a positive environment, you know. There's lots of challenges, sure, but I mean, creating life, growing things. I mean, how's that not positive, you know?